Hello, it's Papagino. This is another submission for the Splinterlands social media challenge, and of course, this is another battle from a recent tournament. You can see sort of the mana cap and the rules and everything up here, and this was the exciting lineup that me and my opponents chose. This was a battle against Olaf. He's definitely a frequent participant in tournaments all around. I often fight against him, and this is what we chose. Let's see how the battle went. I was, of course, riveting from the excitement of this very intricate battle here, very diverse lineups and everything. No, sorry, I can't do this. This was a very silly battle that we had. I kind of want to discuss this. This was a tournament. It's not actually sort of an official tournament, as you can see at the bottom. I think you can see here. It was sponsored by crypto gamers on Hive. And this is a kind of tournament they have rather frequently every few days, but it's always on this very silly format where they just do Conclave Arcana. You can just use Conclave Arcana summoners and cards, and it's pretty ridiculous. But it's not just them that do it. The actual SPS DAO funded tournaments, they're quite varied, but they also host some every once in a while where it's just Conclave Arcana. And for the life of me, I don't know why they do it, because you can just try and play some of these. You'll see the battles are pretty silly because you lose a lot of options that you would have in Modern otherwise. It's pretty uninspired format, I think, especially with the bloodlines and everything. They're designed to work in a way where you have both Rebellion and Conclave Arcana, really. So when you take half of it away, it looks really silly and monotonous, and it's not really exciting. And we can, I guess, keep on watching, but it was exactly like a mirror match here. We chose the exact summoners, the exact units, the exact order of the units in the lineup, so it was very boring stuff. And it was sort of a funny coincidence, but I think it's also important to talk about this stuff because these tournaments are exciting. They're an exciting opportunity for players to square off and see who's doing best and win some nice rewards at the end. And if the format's not right, then it's not really fun to participate in this. I think it's a missed opportunity, to say the least. A missed opportunity. I finally I ended up winning this battle. I guess you can maybe refresh the page and watch it all over again, but it was complete just RNG because it was the exact same thing from both sides. Not fun at all to take part in this. Even the battle tactics, the things you choose with the summoner, I think we did the exact same thing. So yeah, you can see here we both gave it. Oh no, I actually gave it to the one in the back. I guess I was worried about sneak, perhaps, but didn't even matter too much in the end. It was all a little bit of RNG with an otherwise pretty much symmetrical, almost in every detail fight. Not very exciting, so very silly stuff here. We can see the match resolve fully, perhaps, but as I was saying, I don't think this Conclave Arcana only format is the way to go. Yeah, last just a little bit longer with my magic attacker, so I get to attack a few more times, but very uninspired format, sadly. This one, I hope they change it in the future, to be honest, but I was just kidding. That was not my entry. My entry is this one instead. It was from another kind of tournament. This time around, we could actually use all modern cards. That's the way to go for sure. And I had a few battles in this tournament. I made it into round 2 as well. This was from the first round, but I just wanted to highlight the summoner. Shang Xiao is one I bought recently, and I would invite everyone that cares about being competitive on of either buying him or renting him or something, because I think it's a very good surprise weapon sometimes. The way I used it here is quite cheesy. I'm sorry for my opponent having to endure this, but hey, they put it in the game. I'm only using the tools they give me access to, the tools that they design. It's a somewhat RNG reliant card, but it's very cool because you have a few ways to go with the Dragon Splinter these days. Some of them are very aggressive, and Shang Xiao is definitely more like more passive, more cheesy approach, but it can work very effectively sometimes, and we can see it here. I used my battle tactics here to give the poison burst effect to the halfling refugee in the front, and then this other guy, the guy that revives over and over the abyssal elemental in the back as well. So whenever they die, they poison the attacker, and there's the RNG element. There's also a chance that units next to the attacker in the opponent's lineup will get debuffed with poisoned, and you'll see it's really the poison that will end up doing the most damage to my enemy, more than my units even, perhaps. So it's kind of cheesy, but it's definitely a strategy that you can use. And I think what's good about this summoner too is sometimes you're worried about thorns, some other times you're worried about magic, depending on the splinters available and the rules and everything. But this Shang Xiao, it's definitely not the best in some cases, but in this mid to low mana matches, when you want to prepare against a wide variety of possible enemy lineups, I think it does a decent job at covering them all, you know, because there's not really too an effective a counter to this Venom effect. I mean, you have some immune units, but there are not too many. You have some cleanse and heal, but you know, you can only do so much even then. So this Venom effect is very, very tricky. And we can watch the battle here, and essentially, okay, so the Alpha Refugee dies and they both get debuffed, both the units there. And then this guy also dies and they are all debuffed already. So it's just a matter of me to wait out the effect and everything. And I just wanted to highlight how effective a summoner this Shang Xiao guy is. I used him in quite a few battles from this tournament. I made a post where I talk about it. I lost a few too. I was doing well in the first round. The second round, it was tougher for sure. But still, this summoner, I think... I don't know if I would go as far as saying it's underrated, but definitely a good one. I want to watch out for. And of course, you can see my score here. There's 4 more hours to go. The tournament is not over yet, but I submitted all my battles. They've all resolved already, so there's definitely a little bit more red that I would like to see my results here. For the second round, the first round I definitely did better because it's just easier, the first round, but overall I ended up with a score of 11 and 10, and I think I'll definitely do worse than this spot right here, but this is the reward structure, so I think even if I end up in this other bracket with the 48 SPS reward, that's still nice enough, you know. I wouldn't be too mad about that, but of course 96 is even better, so let's see how I do in the other battles. And yeah, these tournaments are always very, very fun. It's the one thing I look forward the most every season, every week, you know. I've talked in some cases of how I don't like ranked at all. I don't know currently who even likes ranked. It's not a very fun game mode, so there's a little bit of that. But I'm generally happy to invest a little bit in Splinterlands and buy new cards and have things, competitive things to look forward to. And I'm also excited. I think they announced we're gonna have a new batch of reward cards pretty soon. Like instead of the Rebellion cards that we have now, let's see if we can bring them up on the screen. We currently have these. So like we have these very famous ones, the Arachne Weaver, the Shock Trooper. You often see these ones, the Halfling Refugee and all that. And these are gonna, in a matter of a few weeks, I think, go out of print. And we're gonna have a new batch, so even more cards to add to the meta and play with and have new strategies. And of course they're gonna have their characteristic bloodlines they belong to, each one of them, so even more nuanced strategies with some of those bloodline summoners. So we have some cool things, I think, to look forward to, and I hope we'll get them soon.